Namaste, angels. This is going to be our Gemini full moon reading. Um, it's the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm here trying to get some of you guys' client readings uploaded and cooking dinner for my family. And I figured my girlfriend and I used to have this ritual where we both be up like all night, basically 24 hours on Thanksgiving. And, we entertain each other and keep each other up. I said, you know what? Let me try to get the full moon reading up too. And maybe we can go live together and chat. So that's what I'm attempting to do. We'll see if I'm successful. I'm going to begin, as always, with a little something from the Farmer's Almanac, www.almanac.com, about the full moon for November 2018, which, according to this, is the full beaver moon. Which I find very interesting, and I'll let you know why in a moment. The full moon crests on Friday, November 23rd at 12:39. So there's a lot of threes involved there, Eastern Standard Time, which means that you will see the full moon on Thursday night, November 22nd. So that's tomorrow in most time zones in North America. This also means that the full moon occurs on Thanksgiving night. Yes, because it's 12:39 a.m. How exciting. That used to be a big club night for me. Do you guys still go to the club on Thanksgiving, you younger people? After dinner with my family, we'd be bored. Me and my girlfriends, my cousins and stuff, we go to the club. Anywho, November's full moon was called the Beaver Moon by both the Algonquin tribes and colonial Americans. The Native Americans used the monthly moons and nature signs as a sort of calendar to track the seasons. Why this name? Back then, it was the month to set beaver traps before the swamps froze to ensure a supply of warm winter furs. The November full moon was also called the full frost moon by other native tribes. I've been feeling like, because of beavers, that we can expect a lot of activity between air, water, and earth, and any combinations of those. Air, water, and earth specifically. Maybe not so much fire, even though we've entered, or will have entered by the time this full moon comes around, the Sagittarius season. So it's their season. It's all about Jupiter. So there's fire. But just in connection to the moon, I feel a lot of water, air, and earth, and maybe even more water and earth than air. The air is because, we represent winter too, like the element of winter and wind. Some people will call it swords, like cold as steel, that sort of thing. But the water and earth, because that's what the beavers use to build their dens and lodges. They pack up a bunch of bark and lumber, basically, sticks and whatnot, and leaves. And they make like these houses that have access from under the ice too, and under the water. So in the winter time, like for like 8-9 months, they don't have to come up at all. I was also thinking about pregnancy behind that too, like something gestating for 8 or 9 months, a baby maybe. What else? I want to tell you about that, about the moon, and what I've been feeling. Yeah, it's pretty much been centered around the beaver. They're interesting animals. They're rodents, technically, but they got like these scaly paddle-shaped tails. So it's kind of, I don't know, like a weird reptile. They're rodents though. And these webbed feet, so that they can swim. And like I said, they're vegetarians. A lot of people think they eat fish, but, from what I remember, they do not eat fish. Having, studied animals and stuff in school. And they're nocturnal. But they prepare for the winter and appear to hibernate, but they don't really. Like, they're awake in their houses, and sometimes they have like upper and lower, like that, like a bunch of rooms and stuff. It's pretty intricate. Anyway, let me get back to this. Moon facts. Did you know the spin time of the moon on its own axis is identical to the time it takes the moon to revolve around Earth, which is why the moon always keeps almost exactly the same face toward us. How much would you weigh on the moon? Just multiply your weight, it doesn't matter if it's in pounds or kilograms, by 0.165, 111, and you'd weigh about 80% less. All right, that's what the almanac has to say about this moon. There's more if you want to, you know, go online and to their site and watch their video about the moon and read about other names. Well, maybe we can do that. We can do that. What are the other names? They're giving them the names for all of the moons. So December's is going to be the full cold moon. I don't remember ever talking about that before. That's a new one. Anyway, I'm going to go to a spread from the perspective of the divine masculine, beginning with windfall. And I just want to show you before I start. It's a lot of this type of card. I pulled out my Angels of Abundance card too, and I'm beginning with clearing debts. You know, so maybe we'll have the windfall to do that. I was also thinking about with the beavers packing up and preparing for home. It's like preparing a foundation. I don't know if they would represent it, either archetype in particular, like the masculine or the feminine. I think it could be both, like, you know, both trying to, doing some nesting and trying, you know, and trying to pack up homes or trying to build something. Yeah, so speaking of Sagittarius and Jupiter, starting with the wheel with this deck, the wheel, windfall. So it looks good. Looks good. Opening to family changes. Maybe this is the babies and stuff I was feeling. It could be other kind of changes too. People moving out. Even, you know, divorce. Separation. Like those kind of family changes. Passings. You know, people passing away. Because I've seen a lot of that, and we've had a lot of that, you know. So condolences to anybody who's going through that. But yeah, those have been some of the family changes. But keep the faith, even if, you know, things look difficult, you know, feel difficult and look bleak. Keep the faith. You are stronger than you know. I love when the cards like tell a story. When they go in order. Keep the faith. Grief work. See, I wouldn't bring up death just for the sake of bringing it up. I wouldn't. When I feel stuff, I got to tell you guys. So some of us are dealing with this. And again, my condolences to anybody who is having to celebrate the holiday without a loved one for the first time or something. Or I guess sometimes it doesn't even matter how many times you've done it before. You know, when we miss people, we miss people. And so, you know, my heart goes out to anybody who is feeling a loss and grieving in this moment. Keep the faith. Please. Maybe start some hobbies. Work on some hobbies. I just posted a moment ago that I'm the type of person, finances, to cook a meal from scratch, help you, you know, jump the person that tried you. Then, you know, to beat your people in spades at the Thanksgiving dinner, and then like crochet you a blankie to cuddle up and watch the football game with. I don't know. Self-care. So those are my hobbies. That's where that came from. Self-care and retirement. Speaking of the football game, some of us are, you know, how do you say, hanging up the old jersey, whatever that means. So it could be literal for some people, like retiring from their job. Maybe not retiring completely, like from working, but retiring from a job. Maybe you've been working for any place, the city, for 20 years, And so they have a retirement. After 20 years, you can retire. You're retiring, and then maybe you're going to start your own business or something. But you're finishing that. For some, it is like the end of a relationship, or just a circumstance, a situation has come to an end. And it allows for an opportunity for you to devote some extra time to you. Self-care. And back to windfall. I love that. Overall energy is volunteer. And this for some can be literal, especially with the holidays, you know, around. Not everybody is going to be celebrating Thanksgiving for more than one reason. My family actually doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. We do get together on Thanksgiving Day, but my mother's always called it misgivings. You know, I'm part Native. So we would look kind of crazy celebrating Thanksgiving. But, you know, there are people watching me from other parts of the globe where they don't celebrate Thanksgiving at all. But the holidays are upon us nonetheless, in the holiday season. And so there's opportunities to volunteer your time with, you know, the less fortunate, homeless, maybe at a shelter, feeding people through different programs, local churches, Salvation Army, that sort of thing. So that is one aspect of this, but also it's anything that you feel guided by the universe to do, like to do it willingly, like volunteer. Don't have the universe have to force your hand to do everything. And I'm not like talking at you and preaching at you, because I do it too. I mean, there's been times when I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And then, you know, I eventually do. But, you know, I argue with the universe, with God, and with myself. I try to fight the current. So don't this time. Overall energy is to volunteer. So this will be the divine feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine, like, you know, basically like his kind of like his feelings on her right now, on himself, and union as a whole between them. Overall, and this goes for singles too, like even if you're not sure who your masculine or feminine is, you can see what the collective energy is, and, you know, determine how you may be impacted. What the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union. So this is still something that you can do, even again if you're single, and work toward as a matter of self-care. What the masculine himself is willing to do during this period toward the union, of course, as it relates to the energy of the full moon in Gemini, 0 degrees Gemini. This is so like surrounded by the energy of God, this full moon. Well, first of all, the symbol for Gemini is Roman numeral 2, which is like an 1111, right? And it's Gemini is the sign of the twins. It's the sign of the twins. You know, like this stuff, people, you can not want it to be Gemini, but it's a fact. Also, you have the 0 degrees Gemini. 0 means cipher, basically means like God, means universe, means space around, means meditation, oneness, you know, all of those things. Means God force in numerology. So does 7. 7 means spirituality. 7 means God. That's going to be the longitude, like the point where it is. It's 52 equals 7. So also about God and spirituality. Like in basically any numerical language that I know, and I know about 5, they all, 7 means God, basically, in all of them. It can mean good fortune, and then the fact that you're on the right path too, that the divine, you know, is smiling down at you because you're on the right path. But that's still like God. That's God also. All right. So yeah, what the masculine would is willing to do, what the universe would have the 2 do, but we have to like affirm it, and then it'll give us full support in that and the outcome. All right, divine feminine, adult children. Yeah. I talked about family changes, and I said some people could be moving out soon. That may be adult children. You yourself could be the adult child who is having to, some of us are having to go back to our parents or to take our parents in with us. Go back to our parents' home. I'm not saying permanently, but to stay with mom and or dad for a while. Is what I'm feeling. Some of it may just be for the holiday. That could be what I'm feeling. Visiting mom and dad. Yeah, and we are the adult children. Some, again, are adult children left behind by people passing. And so, you know, you lost a parent or a grandparent. And I guess it's the feminine more so dealing with this at this time than the masculine, even with those and with those circumstances. Of course, adult children can be your own too, and or your partner's, and something may be going on with that you're trying to work through. Feminine, specifically. This could be something going on between us and our siblings too. You know, again, we would be the adult children in that case, but so, you know, so would our brothers and sisters. The masculine, as it relates to the feminine right now, forgiveness. So, you know, this is something he's willing to extend to you, but also that he's seeking. Hopefully some will actually verbalize it in both cases. As it relates to the adult children and, you know, and as ourselves and our mates, the masculine and the feminine, you know, like acting like big babies that are afraid to say, you know, I'm sorry and or I forgive you. So that's another meaning for the adult children. The masculine as it relates to himself right now. Realizations and epiphanies, like, realizing I was wrong. I need to apologize. Or that hurt me, that bothered me, and I didn't express myself. I didn't use my words. You know, I didn't explain. I just ghosted. I'm realizing that might not have been the way to handle it. That may have been me acting like a big child. And there's probably a more mature way I could have gone about that. And coming to other, you know, understandings, realizations, epiphanies about himself and his own life. Goals, dreams. Probably increased as of late because of Neptune retrograde, which ends the day following. Or not, doesn't end, but Neptune goes direct on the 24th. So that falls into this period of this full moon reading. The masculine as it relates to the union as a whole. Relationship dynamics. How awesome is that? I love that. So that may be one of the things about which he came to a realization or an epiphany. Overall, the end of an era. Didn't I say somebody's hanging up their old jersey? It's retirement. Like, we're going to put away some old ways. And they're done. Full moons are always about endings anyway. But with every ending comes a new beginning. So there, you can say full moons are about new beginnings too. You know, it's kind of like in supreme math, the number 9, like in numerology, the number 9 is pretty much endings, as well as humanitarianism. It also means humanitarianism. Like, it's time for you to start trying to live your life purpose when you see the number 9. But in supreme math, 9 is born. And that in itself, just the word, speaks to endings and new beginnings. Right? Something must have ended because something is born of it. When something's born, a pregnancy has ended. Right? The latency period of the growth period has ended, and now it's time to come, you know, forward. Something always ends to give way for the beginning. So that's what this is too. I like What the masculine would have the feminine do toward, the union and I guess him right now. Seeking and finding. I think in some cases, some of this is literal. It's like, why aren't you trying to call me? Why aren't you trying to get in touch with me? You're not really trying. Okay, you sent me, one email or one text. That's not really trying to find me. When I was in high school, I had pretty much the same boyfriend the whole time. I haven't had a lot of boyfriends. And we got separated by circumstance. So we didn't necessarily like break up and hate each other and, walk out of each other's lives. We got separated by circumstance when I was about 19, maybe. And reconnected, I don't know, maybe 8-9 years ago on Facebook. And one of the first things he said to me, like when we, met up, a bunch of friends, because he was my boyfriend, like I said, all through high school and stuff. So I knew his friends from his neighborhood. He knew mine. Like, we used to go to the movies and stuff, like literally 40, 50 people, 40, 50 kids at a time going to the movies and stuff. So I knew his friends. So a whole bunch of us got together when we finally did, meet again on Facebook, reunite. We planned a day, maybe a month or two after that for everybody to go out. And one of the first things he said to me when we got together, not got back together, but got together on that day was like, why didn't you ever look for me? Why didn't you ever try to like find me? And I really had, it wasn't that I was not looking for him. It wasn't a conscious decision. Like, I don't care. I'm not interested. And it wasn't like I didn't think about him anymore and I didn't miss him. I just figured he, had gone on to live life. And after some of the things that we both had been through, then maybe that's what he needed. And maybe that's what I needed too. Like maybe we needed to grow up and experience some stuff without one another. One of the reasons that he couldn't reach me was because by then more circumstance had happened, like 9/11 and stuff. I lost my phone number. I didn't have a phone. Like 9/11 was in September. I didn't have a phone until February. But I had always had the same number for like, up until then, my whole childhood, my whole life, I had the same phone number until 9/11. I couldn't get it back. So he didn't have my number anymore. I say all that to say, like the seeking and finding, we can misunderstand and we can make presumptions about what the other person's doing, and why and how they feel about us. Well, they're not trying to call me either. They must not be interested. Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, in some cases, but maybe for some you're supposed to let them tell you that rather than you just presume that. So if there's a way for you to get in touch, feminine, masculine, looking for that. What is he willing to do right now? Motivation. Like to get moving and do some work. Maybe busy, like get busy like a beaver. Get busy like a beaver. Like I said, they do a lot of, they're very hard workers, beavers. He's motivated maybe toward relationship dynamics after coming to some realizations and epiphanies. What would the universe have the two of us do that it would love to help us with, or we have to affirm to do it? Retirement, like laying down the old stuff and ridding ourselves of it, letting it go, cutting cords, all those things the universe wants to help us with. But you got to commit to it, and then it'll support you in doing that. And the outcome. Wow, that's a deep message. Sobriety. It's like all the toxins and funky shit all the baggage, all of that gone, and a clean slate, and we can think and make conscious statements. Hi, my name is Mariama. I was a bitch for the last year, and I get that now. Now I'm a different person. Like that sort of thing. And for some, this is literal also, which is awesome. Part of the negativity and the cords of attachment, the toxicity, the codependency is to actual, you know, like substance abuse and stuff. So getting rid of that too over this period of endings. Very nice. Even like smoking and things, I feel people letting go of. That may mean something to some of you. That was the masculine perspective. I want to do the universe too. Beginning with passion, which is a very fiery and perhaps Sagittarius kind of card. And opening to courting man. Passion and long distance. A very 3 of fire card for me. You see the 3 sails on this boat, just like that King of Water. That was in one of the readings I did recently. And I had put the card away. I was done with it. And I was moving on this. I had moved on to something else. And I remembered, the boat, the boat. I'm the King of Water. You know, there's a red boat over here. So this one's similar. It's kind of red too. 3 sails again. But the water is rough in this card. So it looks like we have to have some patience maybe for it to calm down a bit. And that could be because of this Sagittarius. You know why? Mercury's there, retrograde. I forgot about that. So that is a connection. I was saying about the air, earth, and water, and maybe not so much fire, but air and fire are connected right now with Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. So perhaps that too. Opening to control. I like seeing control in reverse, but there are no reversals in this deck. This card is about, yeah, the need to cut these cords like I just talked about in the last spread. Passion and courting man again. So on that note, I'll go ahead and cut after this. Courting man. I like seeing her in reverse too, but again, there are no reversals in this deck. Brunette female, this card is the representation of a karmic, as in, you know, like the negative kind of, or situation we have to deal with, cords and whatnot. Feminine energy, maybe not an actual person, an actual, you know, female, but that's quite possible that it's a real person. If not, it can just be an energy. And, often Leo, Cancer, or Cancer, Leo, Cuspian, if it's a real person. Speaking of Cancer, the overall energy is travel, and this card for me is very Chariot-like. And here's the calmer, stiller waters, so that's positive. I think that this is ahead, right? It's on the horizon. Look, is this a full moon? Is this a full moon? We can look at it as one. I think it's probably a sun, but we can consider this like the full moon as it relates to our reading. And definitely calmer, stiller waters ahead on the horizon. Also possibly connected to retrograde. So maybe getting back in contact with people we haven't spoken to in a while. There had been distance between us, like that other card with the 3 sails, but this is like closing the gap. The divine couple or being for single people, recent past, near future, masculine's higher self, blocks to union, what the feminine can do, the masculine can do, what the universe would have the 2 do and would love to support you in, but you're going to have to first affirm to do it, and the outcome. All right, divine beings, past love. This could be the karmic issue we just saw with the karmic female energy. This could be something that we have to deal with. Also, past love could apply to us as individuals and to us as couples, right? Because we're past loves too. From another time. Recent past, so not a past life, but a recent past, soulmate. So this could be, again, having reunited with somebody or some other connection, somebody that came back into your life perhaps because of retrograde. Near future. Ice King. This could be the Gemini full moon. This could be so many things. This could be perhaps Mercury in Sagittarius. This could be representing the air and the fire. It does represent air and fire in general for me because this guy is very Martian-like, right? Very Mars-like, ruler of Aries and Scorpio. But then as the Ice King, you know, I definitely can't discount or leave out the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then this lion is very Leo, of course. So all of that near future. Masculine's higher self. Destiny. And this was last week. I think this was what he could do for himself. Or is that this week in the love reading? Might be this week in the love reading. This is what he can do for himself. So maybe he actually is. He's working on this perhaps right now. That's where his higher self is. Just going with the flow and living his destiny. Letting it play out. I like. Blocks. Mature man. And it's crossing the Ice King. This could very well be, you know, Mars or a Martian-like energy. Aries, Scorpio, some sort of overbearing type of energy. It could be somebody's actual father, you know, an emperor-like presence, a boss. Sort of stifling you and your progress. It can be yourself, like in your own way, acting very like fixated and unable to bend, to change. What the masculine can do though, feminine rather, Ice Queen. So this is going the way of Venus. And look, she's sitting here next to the Ice King and facing him. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. There's a couple at the table. Not necessarily air sign couple. That, of course, that's very possible, but not necessarily. And more so than Ice Queen and Ice King, I see Venus and Mars. Absolutely a couple. And the energy, I felt Venus and Mars. What was I doing? Oh, my daily reading for my Patreon subscriber. At the heart of the matter, I had for Friday's reading, which is the 24th, I had the Tower and the Empress. And I said, I'm feeling Venus and Mars with these. And it's sort of like that. I feel a lot of telepathy between the two of them with this card. I feel a lot of being, like becoming empowered and growing, like somebody having passed the baton to you, basically. And you've inherited the power. Maybe from your father, maybe from father. This could be ascension. This could be being raised up, something through which you're going until it's a block in the sense that you're in a period, an individual period of healing or a moment of healing. And so that's a block until you go through that ascension thing. That can be too. What the masculine can do. Also, wait a minute. I keep trying to move ahead and keep getting drawn back to this. Not only are they facing each other, but they're sitting here under soulmate and past love. The masculine is more so looking ahead, not necessarily at her. He may be like, it's like getting a feeling of like him being lost. I'm connecting it to that seeking and finding card. Like he doesn't see her. What the masculine can do. Spiritual growth. Okay. Sometimes I just need to go move on because I've already said what it is. And I just need to show you guys and not just talk to myself. So I was saying I felt ascension. I felt he was going through an individual something. Yeah, that's what it is. what the universe would have the two do, but they will have to affirm to do it, is to cut these cords. To cut these cords and to free yourself from foolishness and take back control of your life. Take it away from this energy and or person that may be, like, again, overbearing, sort of stifling. Or anything that's trying to control you. So like substance abuse and, again, codependency, toxicity, all that stuff. From the last spread was what the universe was wanting to help us with. They still want to. They want to help us retire all that stuff. And the outcome. Wow. Boom. Karma. Karma's not bad. Always, right? It depends what you built up in your bank. So what that means is, yeah, it's like a lesson learned. 'Cause that's what karma and karmic means. It's meant to teach us a lesson. And it's something that's destined, that's of the universe. That, like, is kind of inescapable. I want to do another spread with my animal tarot, beginning again with Major Arcana card 10, the Wheel, and Jupiter. This card is completely only positive in this deck. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. This card is not so positive. The Five of Winter. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it, right? Why not retire it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others too. The Wheel. And the Nine of Summer, I like. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. The Wheel and the Six of Winter. I liked how we made that progression already into these calmer, stiller waters from that funky Five of Winter a moment ago. The challenging times are coming to an end. We're retiring them. And you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. Wheel and the Seven of Autumn. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. So we're seeing a lot of the same messages that we saw in the other spreads. On that note, I will go ahead and cut. Right, that's the patience I said we might need to have when I saw the long distance card in the other spread. Ooh, not very happy about this progression. We've made it up to the Eight of Winter. This is kind of like going backward from the Six, really. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you greater self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. Isn't this what I've been saying with he's willing to help us? The universe is willing to help us. We have to first affirm that we're committed to us too. The Eight of Winter is a card that can be largely in your head. Like you think you're stuck, because you're not thinking it through. You haven't yet had those realizations and epiphanies about how you can, cut the cords and release yourself. Overall energy here is the Six of Spring. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. Crowning the Masculine is the Six of Summer. So this is another card that is an indication of maybe getting together with old friends and or love interests. The loving care of children or children. This can be the family thing too. This could be connected to adult children and that energy the feminine was going through. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. So some things that you planned when you were a child, things you wanted to do, when I grow up, I want to be a fireman, and you never actually follow through. Now is the time, maybe. It could be part of that building that you're going to be doing, like busy like a beaver, planning for your, your life when the ice thaws. Where do you want to be? Masculine is surrounded by the Three of Spring. So we've seen this kind of energy already, this Three of Fire sort of energy with that, again, that long distance card. Stop to take the time to review and to make long-term plans, right? Look over your life and think about what you want. Capitalizing upon your past successes. Where, are your strengths that you can maybe apply to some of these things? It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all of the accomplishments that you've had, but you may also need patience for the rest of the phase, or for the next phase rather, to play out, as we have seen already a few times in this reading. Masculine subconscious. Ooh. The Five of Spring. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. So that can go with this Three of Spring and the Six of Summer too. I feel it very positive. I don't think I ever finished my thought before. I was talking about Gemini being the twins. Because of that, it also, we represent like siblings and family and community and stuff like that. And so I think that this could be, especially with the 5 + 3 = 8, more of that karmic number. And then adding that to the 6 and the change, perhaps in family dynamics, family relationships, dynamics like we saw in the other spread. I think that this can be in this position too, that is about subconscious, the masculine, sort of like a by any means necessary type of thought process. I'm focused on these goals, like getting these plans, these dreams into action. Yes, maybe there's some things you got to be patient about and you got to wait for. But the planning part is necessary, right? Make long-term plans. That's what it says to do right there. So I think that he's committed to that. I mean, in some cases, this could be maybe conflict with family, unfortunately. Maybe with siblings, again. Adult children could be coming up again. Even though that was, the adult children we saw the first time was on the side of the feminine. But it can be something like that, or something having to do, with children or a soulmate relationship. Not necessarily the loved one. This is more of a general spread here. But I just don't feel that it's necessarily negative, this 5 of Spring, even though 5s in general in the tarot are not necessarily my favorite. Crowning the feminine. Major Arcana card 18, the Moon. The Moon always shows up for my readings. It never fails. I'm very thankful too. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. And this can be more of this Mars and Venus, sort of coming together too, because this energy is representative of Mars for me, and that the aggression and the need to take action and the lead, so it's like can be overwhelming, the amount of aggression that this is. But here with the Moon, particularly with a Gemini moon, and Gemini being ruled by Venus in part, we have, mirroring one another here, this Gemini, this Venus and Mars energy again, like the last spread, like, the Ice Queen facing this Ice King, who could also be Mercury, as far as, this fire energy is concerned. And again, Mercury currently located in Sagittarius, fire sign Sagittarius. So anyway, this is about the need to just move forward if that's the guidance that you've received. If you receive guidance to move forward, then do so, without worrying about, well, what's on the other end? I don't know what's there. The universe is guiding you to take it. So like I was saying, you have to affirm to do these things. And there's sometimes that the universe does stuff for us or forces us to do certain things. And then there's other times when we have an opportunity to exercise our free will. That's why I always say we have free will to an extent. Different people feel differently about that and may say different things. I feel it's to an extent. And we're in part to use that to decide whether or not we want the universe's help now. We want to, go it alone, basically. So they're suggesting that we take their help and that we trust and just go with what we've been shown we need to do. Also, did I talk about the aspect about I think I mentioned the daily reading before when I was talking about the Venus and Mars thing, and the telepathy. So I just thought about that again too. Like some of the messages and the guidance that you're receiving could be coming, from your partner. We could be sending messages back and forth also with this sort of Venus-Mars connection. The feminine is surrounded by the end of betrayal, perhaps, or codependency, toxicity. I like it. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So again, letting go of fear, just like the moon just guided us to do. Feminine subconscious. Nice. The page of spring. So it's like we're crowned and rooted in this energy of the moon. The full moon. In Gemini, but again, Gemini's ruler is currently located in Sagittarius. So I feel something about this. Also, I feel something about the Prince of Spring or Wands being represented by, a water animal. Prince of Spring is passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. So here's the inner guidance. And we're going to have to let go of the fear that may prevent us from following that. Crowning. The Four of Winter. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring the answers you seek. This could be overanalyzing too for the masculine. That's a good point. Especially here in this placement of his subconscious, this could be him, yes, in conflict with himself, right? He is conflicted. That could be what it means. Not sure what to do, sort of like a mental anguish through which he might be going. Instead, he is guided to, if that's the case, meditate and, maybe spend some time with nature so he can come up with, a better solution, a resolution through meditation. Those are revelations and epiphanies. Also, with the Four of Winter for the feminine, crossing the 10 of Winter, it can be connected to something of which we need to let go. And so maybe that's the decision you're wrestling with. Should I let go of something? The moon, the real moon, Earth's moon, not in the tarot. In the tarot, the moon represents the sign of Pisces, but the Earth's moon rules the sign of Cancer. And what was I going to say in connection to Cancer with these? Had to do with the conflict and the karmic energy. I lost it. Maybe it'll come back to me in a second. At the root, the Ace of Winter. Interesting. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. The Ace of Winter is a card of victory and triumph over difficulty, because we've been experiencing so much difficulty and now we're victorious over it. That's when the Ace of Winter shows up. It's a card of triumph. Also, it can be about the need to, sometimes you got to take the big sword and cut something out. It's about an ending so that we can make way for a new beginning. Ace of Winter, also a card of the truth coming out, or some truth coming out, which could be connected to decision or something to talk about. Oh, I remember why I was mentioning Cancer, because sometimes the Four of Winter can be about planning a trip, a vacation, travel. And again, Cancer is connected to the card, the Chariot. which is about travel and sort of like connected to that energy of the Six of Swords too that we saw earlier in the reading. The Six of Swords is more literally about travel for me, and the Four is more about planning it. And then speaking of planning, we're crossing the Three of Spring here, which is about making long-term plans. Maybe, you know, toward traveling forward, or moving in together, or moving, you know, toward commitment or something like that. Could be too. Because we also saw those other Cancer-like cards, the long distance card and the travel card, which I said felt very Chariot to me. So, the heart of the matter. Ah, very interesting. Remember I said that the full moon in Gemini was going to be smack dab in the middle of the Pleiades. Well, Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the High Priest, or the Hierophant, represents the sign of Taurus, where the Pleiades are located. Very interesting. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, or to spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. Yes, that can be so. The Hierophant can also be about cutting people off in a way that it's about tending to your environment. So with whom, where, and what we surround ourselves. Does it align with our vibration? If it does not align with your vibration and is not higher than your vibration, right? Somebody or something from whom we can learn something, what purpose does it serve? Likely none. And so it's the time to cut it off. Sometimes, unfortunately, that can even happen with family members. Although I'm not necessarily feeling that right now, but that could be something that somebody's pondering. Do I need to cut off even maybe a sibling, stop dealing with a sibling, or let them get a dose of their own medicine or something right now? They're vibrating too low for me to deal with at the moment. So I got to like use the sword and walk away from them to protect myself, to remove myself from toxicity and codependency. And that's why this card brings feelings both that are mixed, both of joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Because if I get away from you and your funky energy, I'm going to be a sigh of relief. But if you are, you know, a close friend and or family member, or, you know, a friend that I consider like family, yeah, it's going to make me a little sad to have to do that. You know, that I can't have you around me right now. So that is a possibility too. I want to look a little, I mean, these aren't really romance cards or love cards, but I wanted to use them to look a little bit potentially at romance, beginning with Golden Memories, which is about to need to drop your, you know, the baggage. It can be connected to fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries too, or fire energy. Maybe you're being motivated by Jupiter or something to, you know, again, drop your baggage so you can start new. This is old stuff. Sometimes what's in these bags is like the resentment, the regret, the pride, all that stuff. That's why you got to get rid of it. And that goes towards your healing and transience. Transience. And up into tantric union. This could be the telepathy that I was feeling here between the two, based off of that, you know, Venus and Mars energy. This is connecting on a higher level, an ascended level, whether in the physical or not. Transience. And the Goddess, more moons showing up for me. There's a need to surrender, right? To let go of fear and to just, you know, let go and let God, as they say. Transience. And one more. It is Embrace. This is a very temperance-like card for me. Temperance in the tarot represents the sign of Sagittarius. And it's about healing and respiration and recovery, being made whole again. And that's what's happening here. In this embrace, it looks like a loving couple, right? And it's in a beautiful hug. But it is not. It is one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a harmonious and healthy way. So that's what we all want to work toward. That's the purpose of the transience. And here you can even see Venus and Mars together. You see the white light and the red light, and there's like a blue light. Transience. Boom. There's that fear that we've been talking about. And here is some fire and air and earth, right? Plants can't grow without the earth. Heaven on earth. This card is similar to the Golden Memories card. There's a need to let go of the hell that you're holding on to here to make way for the heaven. You want heaven on earth? Then you got to release the fear, the regret, the resentment, the inability to forgive, the cords of attachment to your ex and other funky people, lower vibrations. Stop trying to meet them at their level because it's bringing you down. And once we fall down there, then more things can get attached to us. That's the way the energy works, right? Energy, it never dies. So if there's negative energy around, we can't kill it. Energy can only be transferred. It cannot be killed. So why not transfer it or transmute it from those, lower vibrating energies to something higher that can help us to heal? That's what we got to do. When we hold on to the past and to the negative energy and negative cords of attachment, negative emotions, what we're doing is we're keeping ourselves in our own little personal hell, basically. But we can have our own personal heaven on earth instead. That card may mean something particular, again, to air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and could be just connected to, perhaps, again, Mercury in Sagittarius. Okay, atop the masculine 6 of summer is the universal heart. This universal heart is a reminder when you look at the book, for example, it suggests that you just stare at the card until all you can see is these little stars that are little strategically placed around the picture. And it just begins to look at the universe, look like the universe. And it's a reminder of our oneness, and our place in the world. And that can be connected to the 6 of summer in the way your place, again, in a family or in a group, in a community. And you trying to, again, raise yourself up and to ascend to these higher levels, but other people not necessarily vibrating on this in the same place. It's a whole big universe. There's space for us all. Sometimes, the space, we don't belong in the same place. Universal heart here atop the 6 of water for the masculine can also be connecting to the sacredness, the sanctity of a soulmate relationship. Again, as it really, I said I was going to look at love and then I started talking about siblings. My apologies. Atop the 3 of spring is expectancy. So this is, again, talks about our need for some patience, because expectancy is us wanting what we want, when we want, how we want now, and sort of trying to dictate that to the universe. That blocks our blessings. We'll be sitting here standing at the edge of the water waiting for, that 4th wand to come in forever. Until we drop that. That's like part of holding on to the hell. Until we drop that, until we listen to the guidance that we're receiving, right? Accepted from the universe. And the star in the tarot represents the planet Uranus and the sign of, that's more air and fire, actually. Uranus currently located in Aries. The star is about our dreams coming true, our prayers being answered, wishes being granted. So it's like the universe is saying, I want to help you. The divine wants to help you, want to bless you, want to heal you, want to send this energy of Mars and Venus down through your crown chakra, circulating throughout your body. But you have to allow it. You have to allow it. You have to be open to it. You have to, be willing to listen. So that's what this calls for. Make plans, yes, but leave them. I don't want to say broad enough for the universe to fit in, but maybe that's the best way to say it. Leave room for the universe to give you, like you say, I want a new house, that is in a safe neighborhood. It's good for my family. I'm thinking about my family again, or my soulmate, my partner. So we'll let it be spacious enough and in a safe neighborhood. And that's it. You don't have to tell the universe how you want to pay for it. I want to pay for it in installments of, a mortgage of $1,000 a month. I'm going to get that from, my job down the block. Let the universe fill in the blanks on the blessing part after you, let it know what you want, what you're trying to manifest, basically, or for what you're praying, however you want to refer to it. Atop the 5 of spring is the gateway. So this could be the masculine, again, struggling, maybe a little mental frustration, a little conflict, but also wanting to start this new phase and to enter this gateway, again, by any means necessary. And isn't this more air and fire? And this one kind of speaks to Uranus in Aries, right? Atop the moon, mirroring the other card, which can definitely be about soulmate. Again, the 6 of water, 6 of cups, is the soulmate card sitting here under the moon. And there's like another moon-like orb above her head, this divine feminine emerging from a lotus flower. So it's a new start, born like of an ending, maybe a full moon. And, it's better days ahead in the area of love coming with this moon. Atop the 10 of winter, divine guidance. And it's, again, the need to surrender and to allow for it to happen. But this support to help you through these times that are somewhat difficult, although, somewhat a relief. The support is infinite. It's never going to run out. You can always, but you have to call upon it. You have to ask for it. You have to seek it. And you have to surrender and actually listen and follow through with the guidance. Ooh. Atop the Prince of Spring is sorrow. This is like that golden memory card with the fire. And I said we're holding on to negative emotions and the inability to forgive. I think I said, flat out, and regret and resentment and all those things. That's what this is. That's what's on the feminine's mind. It's what she needs to let go of with the full moon. It's definitely something that we need to release, that it's holding us back in hell, rather than allowing us, to make it to that heaven on earth that we can create for ourselves here. Atop the 4 of winter, miracles. So yes, rather than, painstakingly, again, obsess and try to dictate to the universe exactly how to bless us, why don't you just, meditate and make an intention and then allow for the miracle, is what this is saying to do. Atop the Ace of Winter is the Goddess. So it's more this very Gemini full moon, the Ace of Winter and the Goddess. Surrendering to the truth, your personal truth, the truth, victory, accepting victory, triumph over your difficulties, right? Believing that times are going to be better. Acknowledging that there may be some more bumps in the road, but that you wholeheartedly believe this is a new beginning, a new start. And then going voluntarily, like the energy with which we started the reading. Surrender and volunteer. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Hierophant, healing sounds. More moon and more surrender. Not very romantic, but I think we got our love card there with the soulmate. And we may get some more with the advice too, because I'm going to ask in a moment what we can expect what change we can expect, the next 2 weeks with this full moon. But this one is about the need for this is to help with our spirituality, with our ascension. The Hierophant can be about that too. Again, with our vibration, with healing our vibration, maybe after we've exposed ourselves to lower vibes. This can help us to come into some sort of enlightenment, guidance for it to be received, because this is a means of meditation. And this is a means of finding, like our Zen and peace and restoration. So yes, this week's advice will be what we can expect during this period. Little gifts from the moon. From each of these decks. What change is coming? I think the only deck that I have not shuffled yet is Clearing Debts. Your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts. Yes, that's what I was trying to relay here with this. These are emotional debts. Like we feel like we owe other people something rather than healing ourselves. And we don't. You gotta put yourself, your vibration first. Even if you do want to help other people, like when you're on an airplane and you could be there with your child, but they're going to tell you to give yourself the oxygen first, not to give your child the oxygen. As a mother or parent, we all want to save the child. But the idea is to not give the child the oxygen before you give it to you. You got to be saved and healed in order to be able to help anybody else. So it's the same thing here. And I think that now that I've, seeing this, I can say it a little bit more eloquently. I'm not sure I had gotten it out the way I intended before. So your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. There's more healing there. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. Okay, so what do the angels of abundance have for the masculine over the next 2 weeks? What will they help them with? Unlimited ideas. I like. Your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Yes, this is what I was trying to say here, right? That we're one, or you're one, masculine, of this community, or maybe this family. This could be, again, siblings, community, and of the universe. You're a piece, but also part of the one. And I'm not sure that I said it again, very eloquently, but I like how they're saying it here. It ties it together for me. Your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Therefore, you have complete access to unlimited ideas, guaranteed to bring blessings. All you need is to take divinely guided action and allow those ideas to come to fruition. So just like we've been saying and seeing throughout the reading, follow the guidance and it's going to lead you to where you want to be without you trying to control it or dictate it. You don't need to do that. Feminine, what do the angels of abundance have for us? Quiet retreat. It's time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. So this guidance that it wants to give us, right? The divine guidance that it wants us to surrender to here. It's saying take some time alone in order to receive. Here is another indication of the need to surrender. Take some time alone and maybe connect with Mother Nature specifically. If you are able to do anything outdoors or to bring Mother Nature indoors to you, maybe like a beaver. They pack up their home, they bring in what they need, and then they're able to stay inside for 8-9 months. Maybe that's what we need to do too. Again, the nesting, the preparing, setting foundation. good thing to work on over the next 2 weeks. That's very Queen of Swords stuff. So that makes sense for the Gemini full moon. You know, the decluttering and cutting things out and all of that. What do the butterflies have for the masculine? Self-care. So we've seen this throughout the reading. And, you know, you can't care for anyone else. Like the masculine, it seems more so maybe than the feminine, often, trying to please other people and live in a way that other people say that he should. You know, from different aspects, whether it's his romantic life, his job, you know, what school he went to, if he went to school at all that kind of stuff. What kind of man he should be. You know, there's all this, you're not a real man if you don't do this. I hate those things. But, you know, I hate them for both, men and women. Real men do this and real women do that. It's like, shut the fuck up. But, you know, people trying to dictate how you're supposed to be. This is a time where you, again, like the Hierophant suggests, and these two cards illustrate it perfectly. The Hierophant is about, again, working on your environment, tailoring your environment so that it aligns with you and your vibration. And you might need to take some time alone, meditation, you know, making intentions, prayer, however you like to do it, in order to achieve that. Feminine, the butterflies say to us over the next 2 weeks, we need to work on healing from the past. So this is like the regret, the resentment, the cords, the inability to forgive, the negative emotions, you know, all those things that we needed to set on fire, those bags that we were carrying with the golden memories. We need to get rid of all the crap and only take the golden memories with us. Or the heaven on earth that we need to create for ourselves. We need to work on the issues of the past so that we can release the hell, right, that maybe we grew up with or that we experienced in our last relationship or, you know, another friendship or something. We got to let go of those things. So that's what we're to work on over the next 2 weeks. And again, it may involve close friends, family, siblings, even, you know, just something that's unresolved. Hashtag creepy deck. What do they have to offer for the masculine over the next 2 weeks? Fun times. I like that for him. Some may be celebrating, again, the holidays, birthdays and things. Happy birthday to any Sagittarius out there. Or the last minute Scorpios, the Cuspians. This is part of the self-care too, you know, spending time being social. It's very Three of Cups, the feeling I'm getting from this. For the feminine, courting man. Maybe we get to go too. Maybe we get an invite for some of the fun times at least. Or maybe we're the courting man. Right? These energies are not, archetype isn't gender nor sexuality specific, you know. And neither is unconditional love. Right? It can go either way. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to go either way, always, all around. And if, you know, if you're guided, not out of ego, but if you're guided to be the one to reach out. Reach out. I read the story of Muhammad in a little watched video. I think only like 400 people watched this video, if that many. It was the prelude to the general reading last week, and I changed the title to Important Messages. I felt they were important messages that we needed for the week. And it seems that those who watched it agreed, but not everybody watched it, which is one of our problems, to be honest. It's not specific to me and my readings. It's with everybody, and that's why some people do get a lot of views, because they use these you know, these clickbait kind of titles to entice you. If I mention the divine masculine, the feminine puts herself, you know, puts him ahead of herself. So if she sees divine masculine in the title, she's more, you know, prone to watch that. If we see something about the karmic, we're more prone to watch that, you know, as opposed to just, I mean, I'm just straightforward and I'm not going to change it. You know, I'm not interested in doing clickbait or whatever. people get the messages, then they get the messages, and I'm glad that they do. If they don't, I feel it's unfortunate for them, not really for me. And for me as part of the collective, but not for me as an individual. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just very straightforward. This is the reading for the week, and I'm a real psychic, so you should watch it. But if you don't, that's up to you. You know, it's part of the care, I think, like getting the information that we need and stuff like that. So anyway, the feminine can, if guided, take that initiative. Not if we're not guided though. From the animal tarot to the masculine. Ooh, the 10 of autumn. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. This could just be you being surrounded by family, you know, during, again, the holidays, beginning with, you know, so-called Thanksgiving, perhaps. Friends, family, loved ones, and just feeling good and at peace and grounded in that energy. This can also be about maybe inheritance or something, a lump sum of money or material item that somebody perhaps left you or is passing on to you. I talked before about the handing on even of wisdom, you know, and like sort of you take the baton from me now. There could be some of that also attached to the 10 of autumn. For the feminine, very nice. We're not left out of the abundance feminine. The king of autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. The king of autumn may very well be a person in your life. Generous person. Could be your own energy. You could be the one that's giving, feminine. Maybe that's, again, why you're reaching out. Or it could be somebody, you know, impactful upon you, some sort of facilitator of this abundance, a boss, you know, a job offering, a creditor or something, parent, masculine. Maybe that's why he's feeling like this, because he's the king of autumn and he's invited you to be with him. All these things are possible. He's a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, someone likened to those traits or attributes. And look at the cornucopia, right? This is very Thanksgiving. So some of us, I think, spending time together over the holidays and sharing meals, maybe going out to dinner and things like that during this 2-week period. And partaking in some of these fun times. From the universal love oracle to the masculine, inner child. And this is very air sign, and it's very all the elements I started talking about before I laid any of the cards tonight. Air, earth, water. We have the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, and the throat chakra, all communication centers, totally air sign stuff. Strategically, there are stars placed on them. Again, stars are about our dreams coming true, our prayers being answered, our wishes being granted, but also they're about communication and the sign of Aquarius and the planet Uranus, and perhaps somebody reaching out or you reaching out, or this child, this inner child may be who wants to speak. Again, you may be the adult child from the beginning of the reading, or from the 6 of Cups here that's underneath the universal heart. And you might have something to say, or something that, you know, requires attention that we never got to, you know, and it's time to address it now before you go any further. Or this may be you feeling, you know, youthful, innocent, new, ready for a new beginning. It can be, you know, sort of Page of Swords. This may be like a message of something new that's coming. And feminine for us, embrace this energy of Sagittarius. Restoration to wholeness where you felt, you know, maybe broken, torn, bent, right? Not in alignment. All of that being corrected and brought back together, returning to peace, zen, chi in your life. Balance, basically. Also, I'm feeling something about Mary and Jesus mirroring one another, but I'm not quite sure what. So maybe you guys can let me know. I'm going to go live with this so we can chat about it. Everybody who's staying up to cook, or maybe those of you on the other side of the world, or those of you who are just, you know, like me, you're nocturnal and you're going to be up, you know, come chat with me. Namaste, angels.
So